So, good morning and good evening. Welcome to the Circle of Harmony. And today the topic is harmony. The origin of the topic is my laziness. I was wondering what to keep as a topic, and because I had already typed harmony circle, I saw the word harmony and I thought we have never taken harmony as a topic. So that's how it came about. So, no story this time. So, before we begin, as we always do, just ingathering ourselves a little bit, stabilizing ourselves a little bit within ourselves. Focusing on our breath, a few breaths in, a few breaths out. Aspiring for flexibility, receptivity, expansion, and grace so that I can receive what I need to receive, so that I don't block with my knowing the things I truly need to know. Thank you. So I thought that today we'll start with just, basically maybe taking a minute and just thinking within ourselves, what does harmony mean to me? Like, what is my conventional definition that I know of harmony? Like, general, everyday. And again, connecting within and just reflecting and then sharing what harmony truly means to me. Like, what is it that harmony, what I perceive harmony as? So we'll start with that. So in case we need a minute, we can pause. Otherwise, please unmute and you can tell me.
So there was a time when I felt, even at the time that I wake up quite uh, with feelings unexplained, which is quite sad or grumpy or not looking forward to the day. There's nothing that has happened. I've just opened my eyes and I'm just putting my legs off the bed and I'm just like, oh God, what drudgery, one more day. And this happened so many times that then I started thinking that this is so unusual because how can you start a day without anything that has gone wrong or anything that has been traumatic the night before or nothing unexplained, but just not looking forward to the next day? So I just felt this was so unharmonious. Um, that is what I'm putting forward for the day. Um, for me, so then I started changing my routine. I started praying every day, brings about a little more peace, and meditation helps a little. It's a conscious decision to not think too much, like just random thoughts coming as soon as you get up. And most of these thoughts are a little negative in connotation. Oh, this work not didn't get done. Oh, that work is pending. And I think because we get up every day like this, with just taking a note of all the pending tasks or incomplete tasks, I think it became such a routine to get up with drudgery because I'm looking only at that as my first thought of the day. So once that awareness came, I started pushing all those thoughts, look forward to my bath, try to keep a vacant mind while taking bath as well, just to kind of bring in some neutrality, not even positivity, but just neutrality. Um, but going forward, I felt that even though I got a little balance of control on those negative thoughts, any happening in the day, smallest, can shake my balance. So I think for me, keeping that harmony, like being not exactly looking forward to, not exactly positive thoughts, but just being okay with what's happening, every day is a blessing, isn't it? I mean, we're still living healthy, and why still there's so much that I'm not looking forward to? Or rather, why so much drudgery to look forward to the day? So for me, that's something that I would like to change. I think I've kind of controlled to a large extent, but still I know that the smallest can shake my balance, the harmonious balance. A smallest event, a smallest, let's say, something spilling, something breaking, a glass breaking, can just trigger as though it's somewhere hidden still, and I've covered it, and still it can come up at the smallest of things.
Um, Thank you. Really interesting points. I'm very surprised that you were able to put the word disharmony to what you were feeling, because that's not a very usual word we feel, right? We feel what's wrong with me, or we get depressed, or we that's a very unusual word. So it's very surprising and amazing. And but I did not hear what harm, like you told me about your life, right? Like this event happened, or that feeling came, or that thought came. And you basically touched upon mental disharmony, right? Like mostly, and then of course the feeling of dread, and so maybe some emotional disharmony. But like today, right now, and I'm not saying you would have thought about it, why would we think about it? What do you think is harmony? Like if you had to explain it to a 5-year-old, he says, Deepa auntie, what is harmony? How would you answer? Like simply. And sorry for saying auntie.
So
Yeah.
used to it now.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. For me, harmony and peace is a little synonymous. I think harmony is where I can just be with myself, um, with limited thoughts, and be in sync with what's around me. And doesn't matter where I am, whether I'm at Walmart or whether I'm sitting in my lawn. Um, I don't have a rush of negative thoughts or negative memories. If there's a breeze, I'm enjoying the breeze. If there are flowers, I'll enjoy the flowers. If there are people walking by and if they're fighting, it still doesn't bother me. Um, where I'm one with myself and yet one with the surroundings, yet in such a way that it doesn't, whatever's happening negatively does not bother me. And yet in a positive way, I'm in sync with the environment. If it is beautiful, I'm able to accept that beauty around me. And that for me is harmony. So I think in that sense, if I say, how would I get up? I would get up with, you know, a sense of I'm doing good and looking forward to the day.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, really interesting. Harmony is equivalent to peace for you. And if we look into it, it feels that harmony, I mean, peace can be a result of harmony, right? Like peace or disharmony causes unrest or, you know, unpeace, and harmony kind of promotes peace. Yeah. But to put them together also feels fine. Like, yeah. And I like the word you used, in sync, right? Like things are in sync. Because somewhere, I don't know, like for me, when I thought of the word harmony, like, the conventional definition, it felt that, everybody is walking together. Like, that sense that everything is happening together. There is this mutual togetherness. And somewhere it felt that for that, people have to do the same thing. Like, say, if people are marching together, it felt harmonious. And yet it didn't feel right. Like, I questioned that definition and I looked it up, that what is harmony. So I just share the screen of what I. Can you see my screen? Yeah, so it says a pleasant musical sound made by different notes being played or sung at the same time. So it's pleasant, it's something that is being produced. The notes are not one, they are different. but as well as they are being played or sung at the same time. So I thought that was very interesting because, somewhere we have this false perception that for harmony to happen, for peace to happen, everybody has to be on the same page, right? Everybody must be wanting to do the same thing, agreeing to the same discussion, right? Like if there is one point of context, there should be similar or same opinions, and that is harmony. But I think it's quite wrong, that perception or that definition, because if a tune is harmonious, there are so many different notes being played, but because I don't know, there is some kind of flow between what is happening. Like if you want to do something different, I want to do something different. And if we are in flow, right, within ourselves, or maybe together, there would be harmony. And if we are just pulling each other apart or just, trashing each other, that why do you want to do this? This is stupid, that is stupid. Anything of that sort, that I am right, you're wrong. If one can just let the other be, or if I can allow myself to be, I felt that would be kind of harmonious. It doesn't have to be same, it doesn't have to be similar. It can be absolutely different. The other day, I took my son for his drawing class, and there were children, like teenagers, I would say, doing some live orchestra, however you pronounce it. And it was so beautiful, like, and yet there were so many students playing so many different instruments, that my son kept asking that how is this happening, like how is it happening, how do they know what to play, how is it, like he was like, it was the first time he was hearing something of this sort live, and the shock on his face was pretty intense. And then I told him, that guy, he's the, what do you call him? I don't know. Like he is the main, like the manager. And he is kind of, point. Do you see his hand? Do you see how he's moving his body? So he is basically guiding everybody what to play. And he knows what, when played together, will be harmonious. So there is something within me which would be that conductor. Conductor is the word, not a manager. Conductor who can help me play those notes right, which would lead to my harmony. And if I am in harmony within, it's very likely, or then there is a chance to be in harmony without, otherwise, there's no chance. So I thought that was nice to see. And, in Sunlit Path, we have read, and I don't know if I can pull it up, but Mother says that the psychic being is the, yeah, oh, I thought I had removed it, but it's right here. Do you see the screen of Sunlit Path? I don't know if it moves. No, I'll just share it. Sorry, it wasn't even shared. Yeah. So just one line. Her mother says the psychic being is the center of light and truth and knowledge and beauty and harmony, which the divine self in each of you creates by his, why is it not going? By his presence, little by little, sorry, it is influenced, formed, and moved by the divine consciousness of which it is a part and parcel. So the psychic being is a center of life and truth, knowledge and beauty and harmony. So when we're talking about that conductor, so the psychic being for us is the conductor. The divine light for us, within us, living within us, is the conductor that would be kind of looking after my harmony. Yeah. So, any questions? Anything? So, Nandini, hi, welcome. It looks
Thank you.
you're looking a bit sleepy. Good morning. I don't know what
Yeah.
time is it.
So it's afternoon. I just had my lunch, so maybe
Okay, that
maybe
is
that's why
nice.
I feel sleepy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nandini, we were just, we started off with just basic pausing and sharing what harmony means to me. Like, what is my assumed conventional worldly definition of harmony and what is my definition. What, like, if I right now pause and think what harmony is, what would that be? So if you would like to unmute, if you think you want to talk, you can, otherwise we can move on. I'm so generous and kind, allowing I should stop.
I think in the agenda, am I audible or is it too noisy?
No, you're absolutely audible.
Okay. I feel in the agenda something of this very different definition of harmony everywhere, especially even in the mother when she was going to describe Mahasaraswati with the goddess of harmony and her attributes of what harmony is. But I think for me, the thing that has really stayed with me and I try to really invoke harmony in my life so that is in agenda. I don't have it now, the definition, but it was like the complete. So I always thought that harmony actually means that things have to be different from what they are, right? Like they have to be more in sync, like the worldly definition more. There should be more synchronicity. There should be more receptivity and better coordination. So everything is harmonious. But then, and I used to always, that's why the present moment was never good because it was harmony wasn't there. It was only in the future harmony was there. And but then in agenda, I think I remember I can share it later if you're interested. But Mother talks about harmony as the complete acceptance of what it is, a complete acceptance of what it is, however it is, and from that ground of acceptance, there is also an invocation to the divine to to align it with the divine will, because divine will is actually harmonious. It's only the Maha Saraswati, if we completely realize her in one of our paths, we can think that harmony can be achieved. But in this consciousness, we cannot, I feel it's not really possible, but at least I can accept things how they are, right? I feel that, it's going to be how it has to be. And this is just a puzzle, and like how puzzle it is. We might think that this is not harmonious when you're making it and you always keep doubting it. And, that's what came to my mind when I was reading the definition. Even with the circle of harmony, it's always like a puzzle, right? That when I'm trying to put it, I always think, oh, is it right? Is it wrong? I don't think so. This is going to make the full picture. And there's always doubt. But actually, it is that one thing and coming together gives you a full picture towards the very end. And then in hindsight, you can say, okay, I now see this was actually every step was harmonious to bring this. So just that, the complete acceptance of what it is, I feel, and also from an invocation for the divine to make me more receptive, to make me a better instrument, so that I can also invoke and spread that harmony around. I think that kind of thing for me. So that's when I think of harmony. And then also with Alokda, and then one of the things he was saying that harmony can never come alone. Harmony will always come with beauty. So anything which we, no matter how much, it might appear harmonious, if there is no beauty in it. And there's one more thing. Three sisters, he said, comes together. I don't remember the third, but he said beauty. So harmony comes with beauty, or beauty comes with harmony. It's like the three sisters who always come together. And that also I thought was quite interesting, that, invoking that. Even body, for me, I've always thought of losing weight. And I always thought of course, I always say I was healthy, but under the mask of healthiness, it's always looking good. And it's still there. I know it's there. I always feel when I'm slimmer, I'm much more nice looking, or I look younger. Okay. So, but not recently, I keep flipping. Although I keep saying all these things, there's still in me something that always tells me that being slim is beautiful. But but I have just realized Mother talking about harmony in the body. how important it is for the body to be beautiful, and beauty not in beauty how we see, but how there is a very harmonious synchronicity. And somewhere, sorry for this long thing, it just kept in, but there was this thing about Sri Aurobindo as well, explaining. So, mother said to Sri Aurobindo that how the the physique of Indian women are so much in harmony and beauty. And Sri Aurobindo actually gives an example of a typical, like in the village, how the beauty of an Indian woman's body is also paralleled with the harmony of her movement. So he gave an example of, Matka Likar, and how she's talking constantly with her friends, and still the steps and the water will never the same. And this time I will stay with never touch. Maybe I can change this and because I want to lose weight, I want to look, I want to work out, I want to do weightlifting. Not just to look good, but because I want to even inhabit that kind of harmony in my body. Right now, it's not harmonious. So that thing as well, in that sense, how your perception change about things. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Nandini. I liked your reflection a lot. Some things which stood out to for me was, how what when you mentioned that the present always feels disharmonious. Like if we usually when we are doing anything, like if we are not established within, because there is something in me which knows that I can do better, or the thing can be better, the circumstance can be better, because the other day I was like a long time back, maybe 5 6 months back, I was looking at a picture in a magazine, like the back cover, and there was this guy sitting on a kayak in the middle of the ocean, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, wow. And then I thought that, okay, I imagined myself for a second when I saw my, odd feeling inside that I am right now sitting on that kayak. Okay, and then I thought that, oh my God, the sun seems too hot, or he looks too far into the sea. It would be so tiring to kayak back. I wonder if he has water. Why is he not wearing a hat? So something which I imagine. That's why the future always looks harmonious or better or more promising. And that's why probably we don't like to stay in the present, because in the present, we always take into account the things which are not right, and we are not okay with it. The second point, the what you made about acceptance, right? We are not very accepting of ourselves and others, and because we feel that this note should be played like that, there is this constant push and pull which causes disharmony. So once I did that exercise of imagining, that picture didn't feel wow to me at all. I just felt good for him. I'm very happy here. And I moved on. So it was a good realization. And when you were sharing, I don't know why this image of, like say 20, 10, 20 people with at the starting point of a race, how when they are bent down and the race is supposed to happen, that it's a beautiful scenery, nice running track and all. And yet when say they shoot the gun, right? Like whatever they give this thing to start running, there are some or maybe one who just is running for the sheer joy. Someone is saying, I didn't hear the gun. The other one is saying, the track doesn't look nice. The third one is saying that whatever, my shoes are not okay. And the one who wants to run, who's accepting that, my job is to run, whatever is the terrain and all and shoes, he's running. So, very interesting how we make it disharmonious because our expectations or images expectations are there and images are so rigid that I want things to be like that. And that causes disharmony. And last thing, when you were again sharing, a lot of times we have when we talk to people, they have a lot of complaints in their life, right? This happened and that happened. But once, if you say there are different, I think cognitive therapy or whatever, I don't know what it's called. If you tell them to tell their story or repeatedly tell their story, first of all the pain and all that they feel in the first time and the 10th time, there is nothing because as it is, it doesn't feel the drama has left. But otherwise, because then you can see what led to what, right? If we look at things in chunks, that person said this to me or this happened to me, then it feels like it's wrong, it's not good. But once you're able to see a story, if you're able to look back, and that is the reason why we hear somebody else's story, we can see, there's a rhythm, this is leading to this and there is more acceptance. So this acceptance thing, one can clearly see when one can see the bigger thing. And maybe that is why in supramental consciousness, they say harmony is the base, right? Because you are that bird, whatever, this higher view, and everything can coexist harmoniously together because there is acceptance, there is allowance. And not allowance, not that, I am allowing you, but allowance as simple as one is breathing, right? That everything is allowed, every opinion is in sync with each other. Yeah, nice. Anything if you would like to, I don't know, add, or then have some sharings.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I feel like that, especially the thing about every opinion is welcome and to be really present with it.
Yeah.
I remember Thich Khan talked about something I really learned from him is about compassionate listening or deep listening, and how he says that sometimes, because sometimes I feel, oh God, like if my husband would complain about things or somebody. Actually, I'm actually come from a family where people don't complain. I don't know, just a fact. I was raised, my father, my grandparents, my mother, yes, she used to, but my father's side didn't. So I was brought up like that. So it was for me not a very default thing to see people complaining. So there was this thing. And now when I came here, first, when I came, I was quite young when I moved away from the house. And when I came here at the age of 22, I used to have friends who used to complain, especially about Ireland. It's always keeps raining. So first thing you'll hear is, "Oh God, it's again raining. It's again raining." And they used to complain, "Oh, it's so cold," and this and that. And I also started, you don't realize that time, and I also started saying, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, it's raining and all." Anyways, and then of course, like when I got married and my husband sometimes he also complains about things, this, and I said, he's complaining. And I used to always tell him that this is not right, okay? You should think like this. And he used to get agitated that, and I said, why is not understanding? Complaining is not good. Not realizing that I am also complaining. So, anyways, but when I read really about deep listening and how to practice it, and I even did a course in that because I was so much if I don't need it. Um, it was basically really about listening and being present. Really, you just really be there just so that other person can relieve themselves of everything is there inside, whether it's suffering, and you're not judging, and then it's just breathing, connected with your breathing, and maybe that's like I usually call the mother. And of course, judgment keeps coming. This is not right. This is not right. That, but you just watch it. But being present, and then really, I felt it makes such a big difference when you stop giving people advices and about how things should be and everything. You just keep listening, no matter what they're saying. It actually, I've learned it that they start losing meaning in their own words. They will, they'll retreat back. Actually, they'll say, "Okay, I'm maybe blabbering," like that, because there's nothing there that they get energy from. You see, I've seen this. So that as well. Harmony in relationship also means to let everybody be how they are, which is a big task. So yeah, just that also what you said was a big it's still a learning experience because you always feel what I think is being spiritual, everyone has to be spiritual. And you have a definition of that. So yeah.
Thank you. So a couple of things I came across which were nice. I thought we can read them. Don't need much reflection, but just, here it is said, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. So I create my reality. I know that, right? Like literally, I know that. But do I practice that, right? Do I believe that to be true and then behave that way? Because this is what it would be, right? Like choose not to be harmed. Like who can harm me? And you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. And of course, at any point I'll go on. Please feel free to unmute and share anything that comes to you. And again, the same, again from Marcus, he says, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. So I think this is what, a lot of masters and mystics have also said, right? That once when we work on our inside, the inner world, the outer takes care of itself. Although we don't believe it, we keep on working because it feels that, because we are so outside that it feels that outer. And yet, that Bulle Shah song, right? कि इधर चले गए उधर चले गए उधर चले गए, बट अंदर कभी देखा ही नहीं, कुछ करा ही नहीं, and that is why, and it's a beautiful one. So that was from Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, so Deepa was also talking about, how when she would wake up, she would feel that sense of unpeace or disharmony. So this is a bit about what Mother had said, okay, how harmony is spread in the world. So disharmony, and sometimes we just catch it, we just kind of catch it. So we can read it. Deepa, would you like to read it? Or should I go ahead?
Should I start from Mother?
Yeah, we can read the question
Okay.
because that kind of, yeah.
Okay. Mother. And now a personal question. I know that at the present moment, cooperation and coordination are essential for the ashram. I try my level best, and I think I do so with all sincerity, and yet I fail miserably. I've heard people say that I speak very sweetly, for my actions are just the opposite. I think that I try to accommodate with everyone. I'm not foolish enough to think that I'm the only sincere person in the ashram, or there must be some serious handicap in me which comes in the way. Can you tell me what is that stops me, that comes in the way of my cooperating successfully for the work? Do not take it as a personal affair. Disharmony and confusion are spread all over the world because of the resistance of the falsehood to the action of the truth. Here, as the action of the truth is more conscious and concentrated, the resistance is exasperated. And in this great turmoil, most of the individuals are moved about like puppets by the forces in their conflict.
Yes, thank you. It's like when we feel something, a negative emotion, some negative mental activity, a lot of time we have this natural slippery slope tendency to feel that why am I feeling this? What's wrong with me? Why am I like not harmonious, or why is it bothering me? So we feel that the root is in me fully, like it's coming from me. So I think this reminder again and again that do not take it as a personal affair. Disharmony and confusion are spread all over the world, right? For whatever reason, we might not want to go into, why is it there, resistance of falsehood, action of truth. Maybe that's something we don't resonate with. But we do know they are like negative forces. They, of course, they are there. But what am I opening myself to is something that I need to work on. So because a lot of times they are moved about like puppets. I remember once I was like very disturbed about something, and I opened up, I obviously concentrated a bit and opened up Savitri, and it was just feeling that too much chaos. And not surprisingly, by grace, the lines that came, I don't remember it for a very long time back, that, we are all puppets anyways. So continue to be puppeted, it's all right. And the day when you'll, kind of know that you don't have to be puppeted, it will naturally stop, something like this. So in all his kindness and grace and compassion, Sri Aurobindo, what I felt at that time was it's okay, accept that you are being puppeted and be puppeted, it's okay. Like it was okay. It wasn't that, kill yourself because you're being puppeted, for example. Like, why would he say that? So that was the first thing. Deepa, any questions on this or any comments?
So my mind is working so slow that I'm now going back to what Nandini said, and then
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
So Nandini mentioned about compassionate listening, and I was just thinking, oh my God, I have to do probably multiple courses of this. Because I guess when it is with others, I'm still listening. But I think when with your own family members, sometimes you lack compassionate listening. Like today in the morning, the first thing when my husband sits down and I say, oh my God, Namrata, my daughter, she's put on so much weight and we have to do something about it, get her off the junk, get her into exercising and good eating. And then I guess he just read something and he decided to throw something out in the air and he said Ozempic. And I was like, what the hell? And I just walked out. Like, how can you even go to medication? You don't know the side effects. It's a diabetic drug. And then in the same breath, he's saying, I don't know. I've heard there are side effects. And I'm like, how could you even consider it for our daughter? So, for me, all I had to do, if I have to think in terms of compassionate listening, he's probably throwing a new idea. We have considered a lot of ideas in the past. He doesn't mean to use it, but I did not even have a 2 minute, forget 2 minute, 2 second patience for those words to come fully out of his mouth. So basically, I might have had a certain idea in my mind about how to go about this for her to lose weight. The moment the idea that he threw was so different from mine, I just did not have any um, patience in me to respond or to listen. So when the nature exists in so much harmony, like the trees will sway, the creek will flow, its waters will make some sound, the leaves will rustle, the red cardinal will sing a song, or maybe when it's too cold, it may not even come out and sing. So when they are okay with whatever happens with each other, why is it so difficult for me to maintain my internal balance is beyond my comprehension. And this is with me trying to work so much on myself, and yet one word like Ozempic just threw me off.
This is
I
a very
think
great
again,
observation, is all I want to say. Yes, Nandini, please.
no, I was saying exactly what we read, of the mother. It's so relevant that it's not personal. It's also universal. We all, we all so much, we are so much in one with our prakriti, with our reactions, that there is no witness. Now, see, there is witness in you. That's why you're like how Taru said. Exactly, I thought that witness came much after the action, right? For some people, it will never come because there is. It's fine. It's their journey as well. Sometimes I say, oh my God, he's not even apologetic or not even at least not apologetic. But I used to be like, but I'm okay. It's just his journey. who knows, he's going to be a bigger yogi than me. Sometimes I've seen people changing so radically and gone so high again. So yeah, so what I was wanting to say is that at least you saw it, right? And there is some witness consciousness that you're working towards yourself. And maybe slowly and steadily it starts coming when you're doing the action. This is how I've seen. You know, first it comes much later, the witness comes much later. Then slowly, if you keep doing it, it comes while you're doing the action. So there's something, I'm still doing it, it still happens with me, I'm still doing it, I'm still shouting or saying something bad. And there's something in me is not taking interest. I remember recently I bought, Next, they had sales and I like clothes. Huh? So there was like cheap. So I spent 100 and I'm not employed at the moment. I'm looking for work. So I'm not okay, I'm going to get frugal. Okay, I'm not, it's just rent and food, rent and food, that's it. And anyways, I spent. But something very interesting happened. Usually I would regret it later that I spent 100 euro just on like that. But while I was doing it this time, it was something which was not taking pleasure. I didn't like it, even though I was doing it because it's so mechanical. And maybe, I don't know when will it happen in this lifetime. Maybe next time, even before beginning, there is a witness that tells you. So, of course, you've read it about Drishta and Anumanta. So there is a Drishta and then Anumanta can actually you have to take sanction before doing it. But that's a process. So that's great, actually. Also, anybody who is willing, it's always the progress, we always make progress. That's great, I would say.
Then Nandini, just speak 2 lines on Drishta and Anumanta since you have brought it up, so that for those who are not familiar with the terms, just define them.
Yeah, I don't know if I can define, but from my own understanding, what I read is just Krishna is this witness consciousness that we keep talking about. That, like, even I was speaking with Monica just the other day. I was discussing something, about this thing, and she didn't. Usually we go into the personal thing. She didn't say any of that. She just told me, you just see how you're feeling. Just be with that feeling. Just be like, for example, Deepa was saying, I'm feeling, I felt, what did I do? Like that's regret. And you just be with that. You just see the regret. You can name it. Sometimes I do now very well. With my mother-in-law, I do very well now that every time I have an expectation of how things should be, that food should be made for me too, and it's not there. Made for my husband, but for not for me. I just tell myself, oh, expectation, hello, how I see you. And it actually helps because I don't go into the storyline. I just see expectation is coming and I'm just looking at it. Practice I'm sharing. Anything, So I think that's Drishta. I think witness. Zaru, just correct me if I'm wrong. But then the witness, and then the second step, Sri Aurobindo says is that a Purusha, the Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti is our actions, like I say. Purusha is the one who is watching everything, the witness. And then when it grows slowly with yoga, because you're working on yourself, you're trying to be on the path with invocation from the divine, it also becomes not only the witness but Anumanta. That means everything that the Prakriti will do, it will first take sanction from the Purusha. So, for example, in this case, for example, there's an evolution. And next time, maybe your Purusha will actually tell you, Prakriti, to just be quiet. Just listen to your husband, or, in my case, I would say about things. So, I think that is it. The witnessing and then the sanctioning was just witness, and then it even gives sanction. So you would see the yogis, even somebody shouts at them, somebody could be really this thing, but they will be quiet. They will just be calm because there's no sanction given for, how we go. I think.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we can maybe take up the topic of compassionate listening next time. That would be a good one for a lot of us. Yeah, it's really good. I think that we are reaching the end, although we started a bit late today. This was really beautiful. So at least we'll read just the first passage. And I don't know if anybody has the capacity, otherwise I'll read.
Okay, I'll do it. Sweet mother, can we create the attunement of the nature with the working of the divine light and power? How can you do it? by trying. First, you must be conscious of the kind of attunement you want to realize. You must become aware of the points where this harmony does not exist. You must feel them and understand the contradiction between the inner consciousness and certain outer movements. You must become conscious of this first, and once you are conscious of it, you try to adapt the outer action, outer movement of the inner idol. But first of all, you must become aware of the disharmony, for there are many people who think that everything is going well, and if they are told, no, your outer nature is in contradiction with your inner aspiration, they protest. They're not aware. Therefore, the first step is to become aware, to become conscious of what is not in truth.
Yeah, thank you. So I found it very beautiful and very, again, things we need to know again and again. That we don't know, we don't even know what all is existing. And that is why, and I don't know why I'm so stuck on with this thing, that the topic that we had taken before we went for a break, complaint-free world, such initiatives, such activities, they make you aware कि चल क्या रहा है, what is it that is happening in my being? Why is, I want harmony, I want peace, I want joy, I want to be harmony, peace, and joy. Not only I want for me, for everybody. And yet, there are times when I'm upset, frustrated, irritated, angry. So where is the root? What in me is causing it, entertaining it, allowing it? So I just loved, when this question was asked, that how can we create this? And our mother says, how can you do it? By trying. First of all, you will want to do it, right? So you must be conscious that चाहिए क्या, right? Conscious of the kind of attunement you want to realize. You must become aware of the points where this harmony does not exist. You must feel them and understand the contradiction between the inner consciousness and outer movement. That I want this. Right now, somebody said something, and I'm just thinking that, my God, how could you do this? And yet, what I would want is that I would want to be understanding. But if it's like right now when I was talking, I got reminded of Acharya Prashant. I think the first time I had attended his camp, one of the things that stuck me was, the first things probably he said was, "Baatein mat banao, जीवन बताओ कैसा जी रहे हो." Like when people would share, they would say, हमें सर ये चाहिए, हम इसलिए कैंप में आए हैं, है ना? मतलब, how they would introduce, and there were a lot of college guys there. So he stopped them right in the beginning. Don't tell me what you want to be, show me what you are right now. Tell me about life. What kind of life? Is there peace? Is there harmony? Because what I want in the future is not very important, he said. But first, if I see where am I right now, that would help me to be where I would want to be. Otherwise, if I don't even know where I'm standing, how will I go towards what I want? And it's really weird, how we have discussed this before, that we all say that, I am a good person mostly. That's my impression of me. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about all of us. And the world is bad, right? That person was rude, that person was inconsiderate. Why is that person driving that slow? Why is that person driving so fast that he's cutting me? Like, so that seed, that beach of annoyance or non-acceptance, as you very nicely said, Nandini, is already in me, deep-seated. So first, if I see that, right, like as a witness, then probably the Anumanta can say कि हाँ हो गया, अब मुझे नहीं चाहिए, right? Because I am choosing my peace over these small things. So that I really had liked what Mother had said. And of course, reflections are welcome, and I'll be moving to the next thing if there's any.
I just wanted to say, there's something very nice I heard. It actually really changed me, I can say, if I can use that word, because it really something shook in me. Because I was having problem at home about something very distinct, and again, I can see myself complaining, but it wasn't going away. And I was like, this, and I was constantly this thing, and anyways, I have to bear with all this and this and that. And I said to the mother that, I don't like it and all of that. And it was quite not very good. But then I was, on YouTube, I listened to different things. I even shared Swami Priyananda, whom I really appreciate and admire. And one of the things he was saying, he explained about an incident that would actually an answer to me. I was thinking that he's talking with me. Okay, you were asking this, I'm giving an answer. So he actually told me, not told, actually told me, I can say, but he so told in the video that in a mutt, in a mutt somewhere, there was sadhak, and two of Swami Paramhans, and he had a big problem with another sadhak that he was living, and he really he wrote a letter. The escalation happened to a level that he couldn't figure it out himself. And then he said, "Okay, I'm going to write to Swami Paramhans because his command nobody can defy." So he said, "This is the problem. He's doing this. He's not obeying the rules. Maybe he was drinking. I don't know what he was doing." And he expected that a very sympathetic answer will come, and he will say this, "Oh, you poor boy," and all of that. And he actually replied just one sentence, which was really revelatory to me. He said that if you are putting up with him, of course he said in Bangla and he was saying in English, Swami Priyananda, he said, if you are putting up with him, he is also putting up with you. And that's it. Actually, it just, like a light bulb in me got upset that what is this? So I'm thinking about me all the time. If I am thinking that something is bothering me about that person must be also bothered by me. I'm not a saint here. And that's it. Exactly. Of course, it's just a way of saying, but some things can really, come to you that you just think about the problem that we are being caused by others, but others are also being because we are ourselves the problem. So just thought of sharing that on that.
Yes, thank you, Nandini. So we have reached the end of our time. We had started a bit late today, so there's a small video in case anybody needs to leave, please do. So there's a short 6-7 minutes video, but we'll just look at the first 3-4 minutes. It's a meditation, but we look at the words because it's by the mother in French. And I felt the words were very beautiful. And if we can start practicing it, but let's just first see what the mother says, and then we can see if we want to do it in our own time or here. So we'll have to keep our eyes open because we'll have to read the captions. If we don't know French, that I'm assuming we don't. And I'm assuming you can hear the sound.
Ici, avoir comme un élargissement de l'être, des vibrations. Une paix, une tranquillité dans l'immensité.
So I just hope we did not miss the first line. It said concentrate in your abdominal region. So that's where it started from. And then mother is saying focus on peace and other things. I let it play.
Et c'est là, c'est-à-dire le prana, c'est là qu'il faut s'élargir dans la paix, la tranquillité, mais dans l'immensité. Et c'est ça qui te débridera. Quelque chose comme qui qualities. Parce que is, il n'y a pas l'équivalent en français. Et ça a été crispé. Et il faut c'est la vie intérieure du prana qui doit être. Le vital intérieur, le vital vrai, le vital, celui qui a les expériences dont je t'ai parlé, du morceau de verre et du bout de verre. C'est ça. C'est ça. Et va. C'est comme ça. C'est comme ça. C'est crispé, ça souffre. Il faut le détendre intérieurement. C'est-à-dire amener la force. Cette force de cette expérience nouvelle, la mettre là. Et toi, simplement te laisser aller. Si tu pouvais attraper le mouvement ondulatoire, ce serait parfait. Détendre, détendre. Sur un mouvement ondulatoire infini. Tu me connaissais?
So I'll stop here. So mother is pointing at, the space around the stomach in the stomach, where if we can focus, if we can bring in peace, she's guiding us beautifully that how, something is cramped in there and how you can bring peace in it for further relaxation. I'll share this in the group. We can see it one more time if we want. And then, the most important thing and the only important thing is we should try and practice it. It does move something inside. So we'll end the session here. The session on exploring harmony. Let's see if we have to take it next week. I'll let us know. So thanking Grace, thanking Divine for the ability, the willingness, the receptivity, the power, the attributes that have been given to me as a blessing, given to us, all of us as a blessing. And we are most grateful for that. And for the ability, the time, the willingness to collectively come and think about harmony, because we all do know that what the world needs right now is not another latest model of something, but more love, more peace, more harmony. And it starts with me. It starts with me and it can end wherever. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Sorry.